Joining me in studio right now, a guy who helps me with some of these postings and getting things all squared away with my website and other things, Kevin Richards, with our tech news. Kevin is the founder and the president of the Ventura Web Design. If you want to find out more about them, go to alanstock.com on the right-hand side of the page, the Ventura Web Design logo. Click on to that, and you'll be there. So I appreciate your coming in.
Yes, great to be with you, Alan Stock. How are you today?
I am doing incredibly great. Let's talk about Apple Spring Forward, specifically Apple Watch. I don't know, Q's got an extra 17,000. Ain't no big deal for him.
That's right, yeah.
So, one of those gold watches there.
I think I heard the old saying is if you can afford a watch that price, you don't have anywhere to be on time, so you don't need a watch in the first place. But, I mean, it's crazy. It's $17,000 for their highest-end Apple Watch. Who on earth needs that? That is not a technology buy. That is a status buy.
Well, that's true. And, you know, the irony is that more and more young people today are going without watches. They're going without watches.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not wearing one, see? There's no point.
I'm wearing one, see?
You are. I see that. But,
I know.
You know, the phone, it's in your pocket, though. That's kind of the key. You know,
your phone tells you the time.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's right there. But I think what Apple's trying to do, and they're not really putting a lot of new things into this watch. They're just trying to get you used to wearables. You know, Google Glass, you know, it basically failed. You wore it around, you looked weird.
It looked weird.
Bars and places like that told you, no, you're not coming in here wearing Google Glass. And, you know, so Apple's trying, you know, they have a history of taking ideas and then figuring them out and improving upon them. So I think that this is that next step. And the interesting thing about the watch is, again, like I was saying earlier, there's nothing different about it. It doesn't do anything new. It tracks, you know, your heart rate and things like that. Yeah, that's new. But I mean, that's it. It helps you summon an Uber driver, you know, if they're allowed in your city, of course. And it can open your garage door. It can let you look at Instagram on your wrist. I mean, can you check your emails in your wrist? Yeah, as your emails come in, you'll see it right as you go, and that might be the direction it's going. I mean,
can you text with it also?
You can reply back. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting because now there's going to be no excuse for you to not immediately reply to a text message.
Now, is the technology that of using a Bluetooth so your phone still has to be on your person?
Yes, your phone still does have to be with you. Now, I think the watch will track data, like it'll track your heart rate
right.
if you want it with you and things like that. Yeah. And it'll report that back once it resyncs up with your phone. But it definitely needs to be with you. It's not going to be its own independent device.
Okay.
So you're carrying both things with you.
And what's the cost of this? 17,000 is top end, so Q and I are not going to picking one up at 17,000.
I heard John Schaefer is thinking about one, though.
Well, I understand. But he's the king of selfies anyway. Talk to me about what's the lowest end cost?
The lowest end is their
steerage.
Is their Sport Edition, and that's $349. So when you're buying the watch, you've got either Watch, Sport, or Edition. And Edition is the one that is $17,000. It's got.
You said Watch, Sport, or Edition?
Yes.
What's Watch?
It's a different styling. It's all about style.
But it's still $345 or whatever it is.
The least expensive watch is $549. They're all watches. All these that I'm listing out are watches, but that's the name that they're giving it. So Apple Watch there's 20 of those.
Yeah.
Sport, there are 10 of them, and Edition, there are 8. So on the Sport side, that's the least expensive, and that only ranges from $349 to $399. Then the watch, where there's 20 of them, that goes from $549 to just under $1,100.
Will that Sport do everything also?
I think they all do everything. The difference here is the size of the watch. It's 38 millimeters or 42. And then I think you can also do some things with the band and things like that.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. I don't want a $17,000 watch without a decent band.
Now, before you run out and buy one, though, Alan, it absolutely does require you to have an iPhone 5, which I think you have.
I have a 5S.
Okay, you're 5. But it also requires you to have the latest operating system, so you have to do the updates.
That's going to be up to you to help me do that, because I'm not familiar with that stuff. But I get it. So this watch, supposedly, I mean, why is Apple really coming out with a watch when the phone does it all?
Well, I think that's the key. They're trying to, and that's not what there was no mention of this really in the Spring Forward event. But the point here is they want to get you more focused on their technology all the time. The fact that you're putting that phone away into your pocket, that means you're not using it at that particular moment.
Oh my gosh!
Right.
I mean, no, I say that because it's like the whole thing has changed around where you're supposed to spend your whole day. Where was I? I was at a grocery store about 3 days ago, 3 days ago, and I wanted to back out because I was parked. I'd done my shopping. I was trying to back out, and a gal is walking behind me, real slow, walking. She'd parked her car. She's walking to the grocery store, and she's looking down at her phone as she's walking, and walking real slow because she's either texting or searching something. And I'm waiting to get out, and it's like, and it's can you put the thing down for a minute while you get past the car? So,
that happens all the time. You remember Sheriff Gillespie? He had a put your phone down campaign that he rolled out.
Yeah.
And I mean, even my small children, I catch them walking around the house, staring at the phone, walking, incredibly slow. I'm like, no. Go where you're going, sit down, then pull the phone back out. It does not need to be permanently affixed to your hand.
Do kids play ping pong anymore? I mean, old-fashioned ping pong, and Monopoly.
We've got to get it. Well, we did. Remember, I told you we did play Monopoly that one night. They forced me to play Monopoly.
Oh, man. All right, let's get right into this because I understand that Apple servers were hacked and they were down for like 10 hours plus. Unusual because Apple is usually on top of this kind of stuff. What happened?
Well, at this point, it's just reports that their servers may have been hacked. Of course, Apple says that's absolutely not the case. They're still investigating, and they'll get back to us when they have something to share. So what's interesting about this is that the iTunes Store and the App Store were basically down for 11 hours yesterday. So the information there indicates that there was something a bit more wrong than normal. It's normal for something to go down for 15 minutes here or there, and engineers hop in there and fix it. Or most of the time, the engineers were the ones that caused it in the first place, so they know exactly what they did, and they just have to fix it back. This was 11 hours of outage, and it was pretty widespread. So it was all over Twitter. It was all over the message boards. Pretty big information for Apple to not be able to be up like that.
But don't they have a way that they change the codes all the time so they can prevent a lot of this more so than other servers?
They do, and it's called staging, and putting the information into a testing server and checking it. But not everybody tests things perfectly, and even when things work in a testing environment, when you roll them out and release them into the wild,
real world, yeah.
You end up with something that breaks. So that's why you have really highly paid engineers watching these things 24 hours a day.
All right, real quick, I just in a quick moment, tell me about any other new products besides the watch announced by Apple.
Oh, real quick. I mean, there's a lot of new stuff coming out from Apple. They're changing up their MacBooks. They're really focusing on making them thinner and lighter, making them faster. They're changing the connection tools in the back. So a lot of new things happening. And definitely if you're thinking about buying a new Mac, visit macrumors.com, and they have a buyer's guide. It's macrumors.com. Click on the buyer's guide, and you'll be able to learn all about the tech specs and see what's going on in regards to those new devices and whether or not you should be buying them.
All right, excellent. Talk to me about Facebook a little bit, because I understand that they're removing, you have different status choices, and they're removing the I'm feeling fat status, but they're keeping the I'm feeling ugly status.
Yes. So, you can go in there, you can post your status. Most people don't realize this feature exists. You can go in there and you just type your own status.
I would never have thought of putting up there, I'm ugly.
Right.
Ugly, yeah.
Right. So you go in there and you would normally just post whatever it is you're thinking about, post a picture and put some comments on it. The other option that exists is you can put up little smiley faces and you can say, oh, I'm feeling, fat, I'm feeling ugly. You can type your own status report in there. I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling energized. I'm feeling accomplished. There's a whole long list of little status updates that you can put in there. And it's just a way of that Facebook makes it easier for you to express yourself. And what's funny here is that a group was really upset that the status update "feeling fat" was out there. They're saying that it was promoting body shaming, is what they said.
Body shaming.
Body shaming. I had to look for that phrase because that's not something that's in my vocabulary. So the feeling fat emoji. And what's interesting here is that Facebook gave in. They said, yeah, you're right. We're going to take it off. So good for Facebook for realizing that, they have hundreds of millions of users, and it makes sense to make sure that all of them are happy so that their service can last well into the future.
Anyone gets offended by anything, we'll just take it off. And so it'll be bland after a while.
Yeah, I mean, you can still say you're feeling blessed, loved, drunk. There's a whole long list of things you can say, and just fat is now gone. And technically, you can actually type in fat yourself. It's as a custom status update. So you can still say, you check the I'm feeling, and then you fill it in and say whatever you want. So you can do it yourself. Facebook just decided, okay, we'll remove that.
But they're leaving I'm feeling ugly.
They are, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It seems like body shaming to me.
I don't get it.
And it comes with a instead of a nice smiley face when you choose I'm feeling ugly, it comes with a goofy looking face with glasses on and a mustache. I mean, I don't know. Seems like there's some people that can be offended by that.
Okay, very good. Are you going to run out and buy an Apple Watch for $17,000?
Definitely not the $17,000 version. Quite honestly, I've always said that I don't think I want to wear a watch. I can pull my phone out when I'm ready for it.
Is there a butt coming?
No. Well, the but is I feel a little bit obligated to buy it, test it out, so I can share that information with you and your listeners.
Okay, so you're thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it, and if I do buy it, I'll be using you as the excuse for that expenditure.
All right. Like I said, I have a regular. This is the old.
I see it.
It's a regular old fashioned.
Apple is really bringing back gold as a color. They've got a new MacBook that is all gold. Mm-hmm. Quite cool. I think you'd like it.
I don't have a MacBook. I have my iMac, and I use that. And I
know. We got to get you to change that. We got to make Allen stock more portable.
I have an iPad though. Isn't that good enough?
No,
and it comes with a keyboard and everything.
Yeah, but it's not the same. It's not the same experience. It doesn't give you. It's not as powerful. Eventually, when the time is right, we're going to go to that Apple store and get you a portable MacBook.
So what do I do with my iPad then? At that point,
give it to small children.
Oh, okay. All right. If you think I should, I'll go ahead and look into it.
At some point, you don't have to run out there and do it today, but when these new ones come out, it might be the right time for you to go do it.
All right. To find out more about Kevin Richards and, of course, Ventura Web Design, go to allenstock.com. The right-hand side of the page, you can see the Ventura Web Design logo. Click onto that, and you'll be in touch with Kevin and the good folks over at Ventura Web Design. By way of disclosure, they did design my page, allenstock.com, and that's why it looks so good. I don't take credit for that. You guys did a great job.